Nick, moving forward, you expect this to get better, worse, or stay the same now?
It's not going to get worse, and it's not going to get better until they trade him. So I think it's going to stay the same, and I don't think that's a terrible place for the Rockets, and I don't think it's necessarily a terrible place for James Harden. I want to back up about a week, because last week I was very hard on James Harden for how he was handling his holdout, and in part of that was because I have been so overwhelmingly supportive of James Harden, especially compared to other members of the media, other members of the basketball media, that I felt like him no showing, no calling essentially to work was a bridge too far. But now that he's there, here's what you get with James Harden. Since he's been a Houston Rocket, 8 years ago, they acquired him. No one has scored more points. No one plays more minutes per game. Only Chris Paul and, in fact, only Damian Lillard and PJ Tucker, have played more total games. He is a walking playoff berth. He and Chris Paul are the only superstars to play in the playoffs every year over the last 8 years. And he cares too much about his legacy and his numbers to just mail it in. So while the Rockets try to figure out where they are going to trade him to, and they are going to eventually trade him, I don't think that can be salvaged. James Harden's going to do what James Harden does. Take a bunch of shots, take a bunch of free throws, score 30-plus points a night, and win about 2 out of every 3 games he plays in. Like, that's what is going to happen while the Rockets figure this out. So, Brandon, I don't think it's going to get better. I don't think it's going to get worse. I think you saw James Harden in a Rockets uniform last night. The holdout's over, and he's going to keep playing.
Okay. I think it gets much better. And if I was the Rockets, I'd say 10 games. Give us 10 games. Because here's the Rockets' schedule. Thunder, Portland, Denver, 2 games against Sacramento. Let's give you 3-2 there. Not bad. Then the next 3 games. Mavs, Pacers, Magic. Let's give you 2-1. So now you're 5-3. You're winning games. And games 9 and 10 are home against the Lakers. Nick, if they win those games, I think winning solves all. And next thing you know, James Harden's happy. And I don't know how you can go demand a trade if you beat the champs back to back. So I think you say, hey, give us 10 games, knowing that those Lakers games are coming up. Maybe even LeBron arrests that game. Who knows? And then James Harden, I don't know how he could still have this level of motivation to leave because they can't win if you beat the Lakers back-to-back on your home floor.
Well, listen, I don't think the Rockets can win the title. I think James knows that. 2 points here. One is, Jenna, I feel like your opening question, is it going to get better, worse, or stay the same, could have also been asked about Kevin Wilde's tie situation, and in a huge upset, evidently the answers get worse. That thing might as well be over his right shoulder. I mean, my God, buddy, straighten the thing out. Like, what's going on? You're the one guy wearing a tie, and you can't get it straight. You're making it worse. Like I said, it's just getting worse. No. It's the mirror image thing. There you go, buddy. All right, now, as far as James Harden goes, I think that someone close to him or someone with the Rockets, it might be instructive for them to say, James, I know you have in your mind Anthony Davis. He was traded to the team he asked to be traded to, and it worked out great. Kawhi Leonard, though, was traded. Now, it worked out in the end, by the way, but nobody saw the Raptors coming. You had Paul George traded. Nobody saw Oklahoma. I'm talking about before the Clippers. Nobody saw Oklahoma City coming. Kyrie Irving, much like James Harden, gave a list of teams. Celtics weren't on it. Celtics are the one he goes to. Nobody saw that one coming. So James has expanded his list. Now it's Milwaukee, Miami, Brooklyn, Philly, again, trying to avoid LeBron's side of the bracket, which shows what a heady player he is. If I'm someone with the Rockets, I'm like, James, hey, man, that money might spend in Salt Lake City. It might spend in Sacramento. And so try not to upset the apple cart too much, because if you want a winning team, a championship caliber team, Jenna, to want you, you probably are going to have to be as good of a soldier as possible.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.